sometimes life will put more pressure on you than you feel like you can bear. I mean, it feels like you have so much on your shoulders and you don't know how you're going to survive. You don't know how you're managing to keep it together in this season. In this video, I want to show you how to navigate and make pivots in those seasons that are pivotal to you becoming the best version of yourself, so that way ultimately you can accomplish your purpose. Let's go. What's going on, family? Appreciate you guys locking back in for another compelling thought. I don't know if this is your first video or maybe you've been binge watching this a little bit, but a lot of times I say these compelling thoughts are designed to help you on your journey. Now, when I say journey, that can mean a lot of different things. As I honestly believe, we all have been given a purpose. We are all uniquely designed and gifted for different things. And my journey looks a little bit different than your journey, the same way my purpose looks a little bit different than your purpose. But these thoughts are really, they're designed to be catalytic. They're really designed to spark something in you. Maybe you're in a season right now where these thoughts can help you get to that next level. Or maybe it's something that you're going to experience in the future. You could reference this and honestly become the best version of yourself, so that way you can maximize your life journey. And if I could just be honest, as I speak with a lot of different people in this season, depending on when you're watching this year, for a lot of people, 2024, it's been one of the hardest years of their lives. It's been one of the toughest seasons, the toughest times that they have gone through. When I think about my core audience, the people that watch this, when I look at the analytics, it's a lot of people between the ages of 20 to 30. Some younger, a little bit older, but really that 20 to 30 range is where a lot of you all tap in. Appreciate it. When I speak to a lot of you guys, this is some of the hardest seasons. This is some of the hardest times. For whatever reason, the last year has been one of the toughest years for a lot of different people I speak with. And if I could be honest, I feel like I've been at a breaking point too. And it all depends on what you do with that energy. And I'm going to get to that in a little bit later. But I call you guys family because honestly, I love to be vulnerable. It's at the place of vulnerability where really change can happen and people can feel inspired. And I just love being vulnerable because truth is the only thing that'll change circumstance. If you're truthful about it, if you're honest and try to cover it up and try to be fake and phony, it doesn't necessarily move the needle or change anything. So I love being honest, because if I'm honest and truth, it'll inspire other people. I've been going through a breaking point, and breaking points are designed to do different things. And I've always been an advocate for therapy and getting counseling and things like that. And in a conversation with my therapist, just really breaking down where I've been, I was just letting him know, man, I've been in a dark place. I've been in a hard place lately. I'm trying to encourage others, and I have a few coaches as well, but it's just been hard. When I think about external circumstances, it's just been hard. I've had loved ones pass away, family, friends, and loved ones, close family members pass away due to cancer. I also have loved ones, close family members that have been recently diagnosed with cancer. So you could tell that the fear that they're living in, because they're thinking of so-and-so and they're hoping it's not them. And they're carrying that. And I see it in real time. I think about loved ones and friends that have gone through divorce. I think about a couple people that I know that have experienced miscarriages and they're struggling to have a baby. And I'm having conversations with them, and I'm just in this dark place where I'm hearing different people, a whole lot of other scenarios that I won't share for the sake of time, but a lot of people are going through hard situations. I think about a few people that I know that recently lost their job, and they're single parents, and they're trying to figure out how it's going to work out. And depending on where you are, and depending on where you might be listening to this from, or when you might be listening to this, hopefully you don't experience any of those things, but the statistics show that you probably will. And I want to encourage you and show you, look, we're at a breaking point when we get to those spaces. We get to a breaking point when we get to those points and spaces in life where it's like, look, I feel like I have a lot that I'm carrying right now, and I don't know what to do. The weight, the burden, the things that's going on around me, it's just a lot. It's just a lot. And I wanted to encourage you guys, this is how you can potentially navigate and make pivots in those seasons to help you on your journey. All right. So the first thing that I want to look at is breaking points. When I was sharing with my therapist, look, I just feel like this has been heavy. It's been hard. Guys, I've only shared a little bit. It's just been hard. Can I be a little bit more transparent? Can I be a little bit more honest? I own a few different businesses, or run a few different businesses. I've experienced loss in my real estate business. It's been hard. A couple of my properties have gone through a few different changes, and I've experienced loss in that regard. In my consulting business, things have navigated, things have changed, and I had to let one of my clients go. Or really, they let me go, but it wasn't because of that. It was just because, hey, they had some things happen on their end where hey, I would love to keep you around, but I can't necessarily afford you. I love what you do, but I can't necessarily afford to keep this partnership going. And I'm in this space where I feel like, okay, God, I'm doing good work, and I'm trying to be a good person, but I feel like all of this negativity is happening around me. And I was sharing with my therapist where, man, this is just heavy. This is just hard. I don't know how to navigate through this. And he just said, it sounds like you're at a breaking point. And I said, yes, that's it right there. I'm at a breaking point. And then he just said, okay, well, what you gonna do about it? And I was like, what? What am I gonna do about it? He said, yeah, what are you gonna do about it? You're at a breaking point, right? You feel like some things need to change. And I said, absolutely. Okay, well, what are you gonna do about it? And that was a catalytic thought for myself. And I want to share that with you as well. Even though you're at your point where you feel like, look, some things have to change. I don't know what's going to change. Ultimately, the responsibility is on you. The responsibility is on you. Breaking points do a few things. One thing that breaking points do is shows you areas of weakness. Now, I know some people may hear that and go, okay, no, duh. You're at a breaking point because you're weak. But no, it just exposes a few things. Breaking points exposes a few things, and it exposes areas where you're weak in. So in the context of, okay, external circumstances, I feel like I'm at a breaking point. I can't control that my loved one's getting sick and they're going through that process of chemo and all. I can't control that. So how is that a breaking point for myself and a reflection on me being weak? Maybe it's some viewpoints that I have to shift. Maybe it's an area of weakness where I realize I can't control this, so I need to shift the narrative into something else. How you view something will change your experience as you go through it. Let me say it this way. How you look at a thing determines your interpretation of it. How you view a thing determines your experience, determines your interpretation of it. So if I can see my loved one going through this, if I could see a family member going through a struggle, going through a hardship, going through a season where it's like, hey, I can't necessarily do anything about it, it could change my narrative, or it could change my perspective. It could change my interpretation based on how I view it. I can flip the lens on it. You know what? This is an area of weakness that I have that I can't necessarily control, but I could control my viewpoint. I could control, you know what? This reminds me that when my loved ones or the family that I do have, that the memories and the time that I do get to spend with them, those things are vital. It shifts my perspective when I get to spend time with family when they're healthy. When I think about the days where, you know what? I get to spend time with you guys. Something as simple as going to the movies together, going to dinner, being able to have those conversations. Yeah, it exposes an area of weakness where, hey, I'm not in control. It's a reminder of I'm not in control. So since that is an area of weakness, I can give control to somebody who has control. In my context, that's God. But for you, it just exposes, hey, this is an area of weakness where I need to just submit to that weakness. There's nothing that I could do about it. As much as we want to control certain aspects in life, and as much as we think we're in control, those seasons remind us, you know what? I'm not in control. I am not in control. There's things of my life, there's aspects that I am in control of, but for the most part, in that context, I'm not in control. That's an area of weakness that I need to grasp and understand it and shift the narrative. So anytime I may walk too prideful or cocky in the context of, oh, I'll do it tomorrow, or I'll do it next week. You know what? I have an idea. I have something that I really feel like I need to put pen and paper to. Instead of pushing it off, I can and arrogantly delay the process, so to speak, I can go, you know what? This is something I need to pursue now. I need to pursue it with a sense of urgency. So once again, breaking point. It can expose areas of weaknesses. Another thing a breaking point could do when in a context of areas of weaknesses, it shows areas where we need to grow. Areas where we need to grow. I just think about the image of the person lifting weights. And it's like, look, I can't necessarily lift 245 plates, but you know what? As you continue to push and lift, that weight becomes a little bit easier because your muscles grew. As your muscles broke down, you were able to lift those 2 plates relatively easier over time. And then now you could put on another plate. And then over time, another plate. Now you're lifting weights and people are seeing the muscles around you. But when you think about when you first started off, your muscles couldn't handle that weight. So when you're at a breaking point where you feel like, look, something has to change. One aspect, like I said, it shows areas of weaknesses, but then at the same time, it also shows areas where you need to grow. Now, in the examples that I shared earlier of the things that's just been going on around me, the things that I'm hearing in conversations as I'm speaking with different people, once again, I haven't even gotten into the half of the things that's just been going on. But when I think about those things and the examples that I shared, to be honest, it's all external. Those are external things. And oftentimes we can hear those external things, or we can see those external circumstances, and we could just go, you know what? That's just life. That's just life being life. That's just life lifing, right? That's just life happening to us. And that's just life happening to me. And it's out of my control, 100%. There are some circumstances where life is going to happen to you that you have no control over. But let's just be honest. There's some times, though, where we hit a breaking point with ourselves. What about the internal circumstances? I've been going through a season where I realized, Jay, you got some stinking thinking. You got some stinking thinking. You have some mindsets that you really got to change. There's certain things about your character that in order for you to get to that next level, you need to grow. You need to evolve. You need to let go of those things. People that you thought you forgiven, have you really forgave them? And a lot of times we think, yeah, absolutely. It's not until their name comes up or you see them and you go, ooh, it's still on sight. It's still on sight for you. I thought it was out of my system. I thought I let go of it, but you know what? Ooh, no. I didn't really forgive that individual. I didn't really let go of that situation. There's some things about your character that a lot of times we think we're over, or we think we'll never do that. But if the opportunity presented itself, would you still do it? Is it completely out of you? And I just want to encourage you guys, because a lot of times we'll feel like we're at our breaking point with external circumstances, but sometimes we'll be on our journey pursuing purpose, but we'll hit a breaking point, an imaginary wall, so to speak, where your character has to change. Who you are at your core, it has to evolve. It has to grow. Because if not, you're going to be at that same level until you grow, until you graduate, until you'll be at that same level until you get past that. And I had to look in the mirror and go, you know what? There's some things about you internally. Yeah, there's some external things going on, but I've been at a breaking point with some internal things that I've been wrestling with for quite some time. Now, guess what? I have things. Don't feel bad, or I should say, don't look at me crazy. You have things as well. There's some things, if you really were to sit down, maybe you're always late. Maybe you're always late. And everybody in your friend group knows you're always late. Maybe you're a procrastinator. Maybe you're a habitual liar. You lie for the sport of lying. Like things that don't even deserve to be lied on or lied about, you just lie. And then you think back and go, why did I even lie about that? Those are things that you should wrestle with, where you go, you know what? In order for me to get to the next level, I have to get rid of those things. I should be at my breaking point with those things. And once you get to your breaking point, that's when you can be able to go, you know what? Some things need to shift and some things need to change. And once again, I always speak from a sense of vulnerability. And I just been in this space where, yes, there's external things going on around me. There's things that I want to do or want to see in loved ones or in my community, with my businesses. There's things that I'd want to change externally that, yes, there are some aspects that I can control, but there are some elements about it that I can't control. But to be honest, there's some internal things that I'm having as well to wrestle with and deal with. And I understand, okay, hey, in order for my family to get to that next level, in order for my business to get to that next level, in order for me managing the different things that I manage, I have to get to the next level as well. And I want to encourage you that as you are on your journey, you're going to hit those spots that you're going to have to make changes. And I see this in so many people where I saw a post the other day. I recently celebrated a birthday. Hey, shout out to your boy. But I saw a post. I guess it was another individual that I followed. It was their birthday around that same time as well. And somebody said, hey, I love this for you. You are not at the same place you were last year. And they said, hey, that's the goal. That's the goal. Shame on you if you're 40 and you're the same person mentally that you were at 25. We have to grow and we have to evolve. Now, age is just a number. So many people could hit big shifts and quantum leaps and ages. I've seen a lot of people literally grow and go through so many different changes and shifts within a 2-year period. It seems like they've changed 10 years, so to speak. But at the same time, the goal is to grow and get better each year. That's the goal. And if we are going to maximize our life, we have to hit those pivots and make those changes. So there's a couple of things, like I shared, breaking points do. Yes, it's going to expose areas of weaknesses, and it's going to show, okay, these are the areas that I need to grow and develop. Now, here's the last thing that I want to share. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And now it sounds simple and it sounds okay, cliche. Nothing changes if nothing. But think about that. If, like they say, if you can't explain it to a third grader, if you can't explain it in the most basic level, then you don't really fully understand this concept. 1 + 1 will always equal 2. For the most part, right? 1 + 1 is always going to equal 2. If I do this and I do this, I am always going to get that. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So if I want a different output, I got to change what I'm putting in. I got to change what I'm putting in if I want a different output. And as simple as that sounds, so many people struggle with understanding that concept. And if you feel like you're at a breaking point, if you feel like, hey, some things have to change. Yes, those external circumstances, some of it you can change, but most of it you probably can't. Understood. Those internal things that you're wrestling with, most of the, if not all, you are responsible for. And like I shared, I got to a point where I said, you know what? I can't keep expecting this if I'm doing this. So one of the things that I know I need to grow and develop in is I'm super impatient. I'm super impatient. I'm DISC certified facilitator, so I'm all about personality tests, all that good stuff. It's funny, those things often change depending on what season you're in. But the season that I've been in lately, over the last 4 or 5 years, and it's consistent today, I am a high D and I. That's what I am. A high D and a high I. So when I think about like a pilot, when I think about the individuals that are go-getters, I understand, especially as I really wanted to take my business to the next level over the last couple of years, that really wasn't me in the past, but I've learned that I had to adapt and grow, and I got a breaking point, so to speak, in my personality, where instead of being passive, I became the go-getter. I became more aggressive, as well as I'm a people person. Why am I bringing that up? The point I'm trying to make is I'm always on go. If I think about a project, okay, how are we going to implement this? How are we going to go? And I'm just on go, right? Great. But at the same time, when in business, that context may be great. But when I think about it in my family, when I think about it in my relationship with my wife, when I think about it with my friends, if I'm always on go, let's do this. You didn't respond back to my text. I'm ready to go. Let's go now. Hey, we got to leave the house now. I could ruin relationships. And I can put hardships on my relationship. So I'm super impatient. I am super impatient in some regards. As a coach and a consultant, when I'm working with my clients and they're on the different end of the spectrum, and I'm like, all right, well, we decided what we're going to do. What's our next steps? Hey, let's go. On the next session, hey, did you do what we discussed last time? What's the results on that? I have to learn to be a little bit more patient, as well as a few other things. But once again, I have my faults. So do you. Nothing changes if nothing changes. And that's pretty much it, folks. I wanted to go ahead and just be vulnerable with you guys. I say family because I honestly believe that you guys are rocking with me on my journey the same way I'm rolling with you on your journey. And I just wanted to let everybody know, if you feel like you're at a breaking point right now, that's normal. That's normal. It means, think of like the ceiling. It means you got to the highest level that you can go. Or let me say it this way, you got to the highest point on that level that you can go, but some things have to shift and some things have to change in order for you to get to that next level. And you have to break through that ceiling. Now, some of you guys may feel like, hey, as I shared, these are all external circumstances. You might need to shift your mindset or shift your viewpoint on how you're looking at it. And if you shift the viewpoint of how you're looking at it, it's going to shape and change your interpretation of it. But some people, hey, there's some things that you're looking at internally where you go, you know what? I'm at a breaking point with this. I have to change. I have to shift this. I can't keep being a disappointment. I can't keep being late. I can't keep backbiting, or I can't keep saying one thing, but then when I'm presented with an opportunity to do the things that I don't want to do, I do it. The things that I thought I was over, the person that I thought I forgave, like there's some breaking points that I have to get to on the other side of. Is it going to be an easy process? Not necessarily. You're going to make mistakes along the way, but you have to get to the other side so that way you can become the best version of yourself. So that way you can ultimately accomplish your goals and maximize your life. Look, that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully you found this valuable. If so, if you have a person in mind that you go, you know what, I think this will be helpful for them as well, go ahead and share it. Go ahead and leave a like. Also, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts, as well as maybe there's some thoughts that you want for us to touch on and for us to build on in the future that can help other people on their journey. And if you haven't done so already, lock in with your boy, join the tribe, subscribe, and I will see you guys next time for another compelling thought. Peace.